Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So go so the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give it the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. He was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk. She must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart. With your beauty I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl? Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture. I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing
missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Chidima, welcome. Good to see you. I clicked the like button. I'm not a traditional or modern horseman. Wahala. You're starting early, huh? Welcome. Do me a favor. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. My name is Ola, coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. What we do here, we extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics, and we tackle them from a self-power, social, seduction, attraction, and emotional intelligence standpoint. Welcome. Essentially, we try not to judge anybody. Just trying to get us to understand relationships better so we can actually create the results we're looking for. Again, my name is Ola. I am your relationship marriage coach along with my wife. And we've written 2 books that you can download absolutely for free at manofprestige.com. You can download it for free. Also, you have access to audiobook, hardcover, just like this one, paperback, whichever one your preferences, you can get them from that same link, manofprestige.com. A quick shout out to my sponsors, More Fresh Life with Natu, Adesua Film Girl, Open Floor by Tima, Gorex Corner, D-Love 3000, Yes TV, Chidima, Sparkleberry, Mary Parker. Thank you for always supporting this platform. I appreciate you. You can sponsor this platform, this show, you can sponsor for as low as 99 cents. Those people are the people that keep it afloat. We appreciate them. We appreciate you when you do join them. Our goal this month was to $449. We got one more day to go, and we've done actually it's $240. Okay, $240.41. I can just fix that right now. I think it's scrolling correctly through the screen. But thank you for everybody for always supporting the platform. I appreciate you. It goes a long way. And you can support via PayPal, Zelle, Cash App. The information is right there on the screen. Our email address is ask@manofprestige.com. Cash App is $manofprestige. And you can also use that same email address to reach out for coaching or anything like that. You can also use this WhatsApp number. WhatsApp text messages only, well, preferably, +1 305 8577. So you can reach us over there for coaching, for inquiries, anything like that. But welcome again. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Without any further ado, let's get into today's show. It's going to be fantastic. I have a very good show lined up for you today. Let's get into it. I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we are here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve. All right. Whatever was going on there, I have no idea. Yeah, my browser Chrome is acting up. I'm back. I'm back. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me? I was frozen, right? All right. Let me see here. I wonder what was going on with that. There's gonna be a lot of funny stuff going on here. Even when I was on TV show earlier on, there were problems with my internet. So today, not today, we did hear shot. We have to continue to do the Lord's work. Have to the best of our abilities. But yes, today let's talk about Nigeria shock with one of the highest divorce rates in the world. Isn't that crazy? Yep. Nigeria shocked with one of the highest divorce rates in the world. Now, here's the thing: a lot of people they have different ideas out there. Early on we're talking about Nigeria. In terms of their abilities to keep records. Now, let me see if I can reopen this again, and then hopefully I can stop it from loading all kind of gibberish. I don't know what happened there, but there's a report on something that's been going on with all the blogs. I think it's all the blogs acting up. So it could be my browser. I need to clean stuff up here. But Nigerian among countries with the highest. Hold on, no, it's acting up again. Let me see if I can. Can you guys hear me? Let me see. Let me just make sure. Pardon me. Technology. We're having technical difficulties. I think we should be fine now, though. But let me just make sure that my monitor is set up. So in case I go out again, I can at least know. Let's see. Okay, so Nigeria amongst countries with highest divorce rates. Divorce.com, a United States. Hold on 1 second. Here you go. All right, good. We're good to go. Divorce.com, a United States website which offers, I'm reading from Premium Times NG, a United States website which offers resources and support. Yeah, okay, that makes sense now. Okay, that's making sense. I see what happened there. Hold on 1 second. All right, I think some kind of virus has attacked their website, but I know what to do. Hold on 1 second. There you go. Okay. Let me take this out. There you go. All right. So hold on 1 second, guys. Just wanted to grab all the information and then we'll take it from there. All right. Perfect. I think I got it now. Okay. We have it now. So there's a lot of stuff is attacking a lot of websites online right now. So it's going to take a minute. Can you guys hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Okay, so sorry about this. Nigeria shocks with one of the highest divorce rates in the world. So let me go ahead and read it. So here's what the report says. Divorce.com, a United States website which offers resources and support for navigating divorce, has included Nigeria on its list of countries with high divorce rates. All right, so how? We've always had a lot of people say, this is not Nigerians in the Western world. Though. This is not Nigerians in the Western world. This is a Nigeria on ground. Okay, but let me wait till maybe I'm wrong. So they've included Nigeria in its list of countries with high divorce rates. So maybe it's actually Nigeria because it's a United States website, right? But let's see what it says. According to the data published on their website in July, Nigeria ranked 11th out of 26 countries with the highest divorce rates. The results were meticulously obtained after sampling respondents from these countries, and compiling statistics from 16 primary sources, ensuring a comprehensive and reliable research process. The report also revealed a significant trend. Women in sub-Saharan Africa, especially Nigeria, are taking the initiative in divorce more often than men. Well, that's kind of consistent with what we already know before, right? The 70% of divorces, especially by modern people, are initiated by the women. Okay, what does that tell us? Well, they're the one that's finding their way to the court system to pull the trigger. Okay, that's really all it tells. All right. Divorce more often than men, a powerful reflection on changing gender dynamics. It's a powerful reflection on changing gender dynamics. What should we do with this? We can either close our eyes with a blindfold and just pretend like it's not happening, or we can ask even tougher questions, right? It's up to us, right? Now, if you're enjoying your marriage, you might not be able to relate, which is glory be to God. Anyway, according to the data, Maldives has the highest divorce rate of 5.52%, while India has the lowest rate of 0.01%. What number? Maldives has the highest divorce rate of 5.52%. How can that be the highest? Highest of what? Anyway, Maldives tops the list because women in the country have become more financially independent. So that's a factor. Women becoming financially independent translates to more divorce. Yeah. Now, what do we do with that information? We can look at women and say, because of money, so you're just leaving your man, you go collect. We can look at that. You can look at it that way. But again, I think we need to ask tougher questions. Let me know what your thoughts are as we're going through this, right? Let me know what your thoughts are, because I'm coming to the chat. All right. So women in that country have become more financially independent and can sustain themselves without husbands. Okay. So that's almost translating to, the only reason why women marry husbands is because of money. See how that backfired real quick, right? So, but let's keep going. Also, there is little to no stigma associated with getting divorced in modern Maldives. However, India has the lowest divorce rate because marriage is highly valued. Okay, so these are the reasons why people are staying, not necessarily because they're having a good time, but marriage itself is highly valued, and divorce has historically been stigmatized, which has created intense social pressure to maintain the marriage, even in the face of difficulties. All right, I guess they're about to give us a rationale. Divorce.com claimed that Nigeria's divorce rate reached 2.9% in 2023. Now, again, 2.9%, right, is of the population. You get it? It's not the same number as 50% are filing for divorce. That's 50% of marriage. There's a difference, mathematics, sorry. There's a difference between percentage of marriages and percentage of the population. So that's what you're looking at, okay? So the rationale, Divorce.com claimed that Nigeria's divorce rate reached 2.9% in 2023 based on available data on marriage and divorce. Even though that's the only available data, that still put us as number 11 in the world, right? Which translates to 1.8% divorces per 1,000 people in the same year. Do you get it? When I get it, you get it? You get it or you don't get it?
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it. All right.
Yeah, hit the like button, hit the like button. Let's think. I was struggle streaming a little bit in the beginning, but I think we should be good now. Okay. All right. All right, let me continue. So based on available data on marriage and divorce, which translate to 1.8 divorces per 1,000 people in the same year. Just like Maldives, Nigeria was ranked 11th among the countries with the highest divorce rate because its women are financially independent and can sustain themselves without husbands. Okay. We don't know where they collected data from, but wherever they collected data from, they have probably tried their best to make sure that they are keeping things within similar context. It's never perfect. These statistics are never perfect. Just keep that at the back of your mind. This is just interesting, that's all. And maybe we can learn one or two things. They stated that the data was arrived at based on scholars' belief that high divorce rates in Western countries stem from the reduced stigma surrounding divorce and the growing financial independence of women. Okay. So men, another way you can look at it is that men used to just bring money to the table. They need more than money to bring to the table right now. How do we know? Well, the richest people in the world up to maybe yesterday, I don't know. Last time I checked, they are all divorced. So Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, who else? Elon Musk, is he divorced? I'm not sure. So obviously money is not enough. Honestly, money is good. Money is keke. Money is the root of all evils. Money is the vehicle. Money is the tool that we all need to exchange value in our world, right? But when you get in the grand scheme of things, when you really start to get down deep there into the issues, money is not enough. Okay, if love is not enough, damn sure money is not going to be enough. Are you kidding me? Anyway, countries with higher divorce rates than Nigeria include the Maldives, Cuba 2.9% in Cuba, Finland has 2.4%, Sweden has 2.5%, Denmark 2.7%, and Ukraine 3.1%. Oh wow, Ukraine. For instance, Canada, a country with a similar socio-economic profile to Nigeria, had a divorce rate of 2.8%. While India, a country with a different cultural and religious context, had a divorce rate of 0.1%. Now, other countries with lower divorce rates than Nigeria include Malta, 0.6%, Ireland, 0.7%, Ireland people, Guatemala, how do you pronounce Guatemala, Jesus Christ, Guatemala 0.6%, Venezuela 0.7%, Uruguay 0.8%. Again, all these countries, we don't know exactly what kind of records they're keeping, so take all of this with a pinch of salt. Okay, societal statistics does not have to be your story. Keep that at the back of your mind. Austria, which is why you shouldn't be using it to support stupid points to stay in funky marriages. Just work on your marriage. Okay, stop getting obsessed with these statistics because you have no idea the biases behind these studies. Okay, Austria 1.6%, Belgium 1.8%. Now, factors that contributed to divorce, according to divorce.com, various factors influence a country's divorce rate, and these factors differ across continents. In the countries with the highest divorce rates, religion, local divorce laws. Now, religion can be positive and negative. Sometimes people holding on to religion allow them to hold on to their personal and moral values, right? Which also helps them navigate life. For some other people, these are the excuses that they use to manipulate and punish other people. Religion precisely is the excuses that they use to perpetuate bad behavior. So it depends. You can't really make that. It depends on so many things, right? So religion, as like everything else is a double-edged sword. It depends on what individuals are using it for. Okay. What else? All right, so religion, local divorce laws, lack of social support, and limited employment opportunities are significant contributors. Most people, by the time they get through just 2 of those 7 factors, they're tired. They just conclude based off of the side of their brain that works. Okay, they generalize. These factors can lead to a breakdown in trust and communication, making it difficult for couples to maintain a healthy and committed relationship. Other common factors include marrying too young, right? Marrying too young, 45.1%. Financial hardship, 36.7%, right? Okay, so marrying too young is 41.1%, okay? Financial hardship, 36.7%. These are the factors that contribute to the data we've been talking about. Substance abuse, 40.6%. And domestic violence, 23.5%. All right. Now, in Africa, 11 other African countries were ranked behind Nigeria in divorce rates. These countries include Egypt, Algeria, Tunisia, Sudan, Mauritius, Libya, South Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. Egypt's divorce rate was 2.2%. Algeria's 1.6%, Tunisia 1.2%, Sudan 1.5%, Mauritius 1.7%, Libya 0.2%, and South Africa 0.4%. That's interesting. I would think that women in South Africa are more financially independent, but who knows? Again, this is just what's being reported. Furthermore, Ethiopia has a divorce rate of 2.6%, Kenya 0.06%, Zimbabwe 0.7%, Mozambique 0.4%. So I'm now repeating them. I just mentioned their names before. Now I'm giving the percentage. Now, according to divorce.com, the primary factors influencing divorce in Africa include age at first marriage. Remember, we kind of mentioned that, right? Financial independence, polygyny, right? It's polygyny. Polygyny is something as polygamy, right? I never get it. I always forget, okay? Anyway, HIV and AIDS risk. Interesting. I don't know how that made it on the list. These are some of the factors, right? The report also revealed that women in sub-Saharan reporter initiated divorce more. Okay. All right. Let me see. We might start it to, no, not yet. All right. No, specifically 34.6% of women with secondary school education, 38.6% of those living in urban areas, 57.6% employed outside the household. The number is increasing the more independent they are. And 75.1% in monogamous unions have divorced. Ouch. Ouch. This is Sub-Saharan Africa divorce report, according to divorce.com. Additionally, they highlighted that marriage stability in Sub-Saharan African countries mainly depends on religion and extended family ties. That could be a good or a bad thing. Okay? The fact that marriage sustaining itself depends on religion, it depends on how you see it. That can actually mean a bad thing. That can also mean a good thing. I've mentioned that earlier on. For some people, religion is the reason, is what they're using as a tool to oppress other people. For some people, religion is what helps them maintain a moral standard, a driving factor in maintaining commitment, in doing what it takes to maintain commitment, because commitment will not maintain itself. You have to understand that those are still people that made those commitments, and if it doesn't feel right, they will break those commitments. And you can judge them all you want. Effectively, they will break those commitments. Okay? All right, another one, and I quote, in particular, conservative Christians who consider divorce a taboo in the past now increasingly believe it to be a better option than domestic violence and infidelity. More and more people are getting enlightened in that way. You say that's enlightenment. I know it depends. Like, it depends on what you're talking about. Yes, to many people, when you compare it, think about the reference here. They are referencing domestic violence and infidelity, right? Trust betrayal, somebody living in fear, right? Without trust. So when you compare it, obviously divorce becomes a better option. Now, if you're obsessed with using religion to manipulate others, you'll be like, wow, they should just stay because they committed away. Good luck with that, because the numbers are saying more and more Christians, even conservative Christians, are believing that it's a viable option. I personally believe it's sometimes a viable option. All right. It's always a viable option if we're talking about domestic violence. It's always, it's not sometimes. In addition, if a marriage requires paying a substantial amount of money to the bride's family, maternal relatives will try to keep the union from falling apart. Okay. So money, because of the money they paid, right? Otherwise, they will have to return the portion or all of the bride price, divorce.com added. It's Igbo people writing that they've done studies or they've interviewed people. They know about the bride price. Don't deceive yourself. Okay. All right. Let me see here. I think we've done well here. So what are we going to get out of this? What are we getting out of this? Why are we covering this on Man of Prestige? Why? What can we get out of this? I'm going to come to the chat. Maybe you guys can help me with that. It's a lot of numbers. You got to be careful with the statistics, because statistics are double-edged sword. you can use it to hurt yourself as much as you can use it to build yourself. It's completely up to you what you do with it. It's kind of like social media, kind of like religion, kind of like all these other things that we tend to reference so quickly. But let me come to the chats. We're not doing too badly. Shout out to all the 11 of people watching us. Shout out to you. I see you. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. So, are they going to blame this on women going abroad or opening eye? Now, wow. They're gonna blame it on enlightenment. On what's the other word? There's the other word I'm looking for. Enlightenment, not enlightenment, but not socialization, but civilization, right? But they're not gonna call it civilization because civilization sounds too positive. It's something like the world is devolving, like this world is coming to an end, like Ijoba like it's the end of the world, like the Bible Revelation says. That's what they're going to blame it on. Unfortunately, it's not going to be that easy to escape the issues. The issues are what we talk about here all the time. Skill set. Your own personal story is what matters. You have one of two choices when it comes to statistics. 100% is going to survive. You're going to thrive even beyond surviving in your marriage, or 0% is going to end like 100% to the end, right? Those are the stories that you personally would tell, and that's what I would focus on if I were you, as opposed to, now the statistics can be helpful in terms of societal impact, societal like civilization, technology impact on marriages in general. It can be helpful if you're not using it to criticize or to shame your partner. It can be very useful to know what's going on out there so you can protect your own, right? That can be. So it depends on what you choose to do with it, right? Perhaps women are now liberated from being subdued and put under. Absolutely, Sparkleberry. That's what's going on. That's a big piece of what's going on. I find it fascinating how divorce is illegal in the Philippines. I never knew that. And I didn't know that.
I never expected it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I wonder what else, other ways that's impacting the quality of life out there. I wonder. It'll be interesting to study. So what is to blame? Women's financial independence or men's insecurities or something else entirely? I'm blaming, what's a better word I could use? I'm definitely going to blame close-mindedness. Close-minded people will continue to collect for marriage.
Sorry.
Yeah, life evolves, so you have to just stay aware and be open-minded and be ready to pivot. It's not just marriage, it's anything in life. Anything that's worthwhile in life, you have to pivot. Pivot doesn't mean it has to tamper with your morals or your personal sense of value. It doesn't mean that. It just means you have to sit with yourself and adjust with the times, with the context, with the era that you live in. So, and if you're not willing to do that, if you keep trying to call 1975 what do you call it, tradition to the forward, you'll continue to collect. It's just what it is. I didn't create that. It's just what it is. Blaming women is not going to solve the problem. There are women blaming women for this too, but that's not going to solve the problem, because that's not the problem. That's not the problem. The problem is close-mindedness. That's what it is. And note, so close-mindedness can be interpreted as, so we should just allow people to be doing all kind of stuff, maybe changing their orientation. We should just be open to all kind of conversation around sexual orientation. Listen, it's up to you what to do with what I said. But for you to think that life is going to remain the same, you to think about time now. It could make sense now. There's nothing like that in life now.
Should you be that?
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Smarkleberry says, I know the statistics may be inaccurate. It is only the reported ones that have been captured. Yes, I mentioned that. There are biases behind the scenes. Just keep that at the back of your mind. Yes. Elon Musk has had at least 2 divorces. So all that money did not help. That's like the end of money right there. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you. Dangote divorced. Adeduna gets first 5 left him. Interesting. That's true. I don't think that's first wife left him. I never knew that.
I never expected it.
I didn't know that. I didn't knew that. One thing about Elon, he loves making them babies. Oh yeah, he has a bunch of babies, right? Let's see. As a tech kings, so you have to stay joined together forever. Illegal. That's what they said, though. That's what D said, though. And I think D is a lawyer. You have come again. Let's see. Yes, because of the strong influence of traditional Catholic Church, there are no grounds upon which people can get divorced. There have been talks to outlaw it, though. Now, here's the thing: if they have resources to help people thrive in a marriage, then fine, then fine, But I would like to see some other more studies around that to see how that works, because honestly, not every situation is salvageable, right? So some people are just not a match. It was all wrong from the beginning and it should have never been, right? Okay, so if you try it, you can never come out of it. Yep. APC Bishop also had statistics. Any story about Tyrese today? As he stopped talking, I enjoyed the analysis of his story yesterday. I haven't seen anything. So some people are probably still watching the 2-hour-long podcast. It might still come out. We shall see. Yes, D is a lawyer along with Marriott and Misty. Yep. All right, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. With that being said, we have some more stuff to cover today. What are your thoughts? What do you think about this? What does this mean to you? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm interested in knowing how you interpret all of the data we talked about. I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve. All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. I think something is definitely going on here with my... I'm back. Can you guys still hear me? Something is definitely going on. Let me refresh this page and I'll be right back, okay? All right, I'm back. I don't know what it is, but we'll find out at some point. Can you guys still hear me? Can you hear me? I'm back now. Let me know if you can hear me. 3 countries that pay to get married. Yeah, it's a report here that I saw on on pulse.ng. I saw this report on pulse.ng. So I thought it was interesting. I thought we should talk about it. More interestingly, I wanted to know what your thoughts are. Why? Why are they paying? Why do you think they are paying people to get married? What is in it for them? I'm asking in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are. Why do you think I'm struggle streaming today? I don't know what's going on. But why are they paying people to get married? You guys know? You guys ever thought about it? Why would countries be paying people to get married? Now, here in the United States, they don't pay us directly unless there's some kind of, but they pay us somehow, somewhere indirectly, right? They pay us somehow, somewhere indirectly. Why are some countries in the world paying people to get married and to have children? Yeah. D say, if Japan is among the countries, I think I might know why. Yeah, tell me why. Tell me why. Why do you think they are paying people to get married? Japan is one of them, right? Why? Why? Maybe you've read some other reports before. Why are they paying people to get married? More and more countries are going to probably do that at some point. Just keep that at the back of your mind. You're going to see more countries doing that. Let me see. Where's the report? Okay, here you go. All right. The Western world is facing a population crisis with many people choosing not to get married. Okay. With many people choosing not to get married, the Western world are facing population crisis. So population crisis, what's the benefit of population? What's the benefit of a country wanting to have more people? You know, population increase is a thing. It's a factor that nations around the world, they pay attention to. Why? That's what I'm asking. Jim says, for better society, I guess. In how? Like, how does that help to have a better society? That's what I'm asking.
How, Sway?
How does that help to have a better society? It's in this report somewhere, but let me just go ahead and read it, okay? They said this leads to a low birth rate. So when people are not getting married, it's leading to low birth rate. So it's not the marriage that's the issue. The issue is they don't want low birth rate. They're trying to keep up with, again, population, right? Why? Why are they trying to keep up with low birth rates when we are advising people to stop having children that they don't need? Huh?
How, Sway?
Why are they asking people to have more children? Anyway, this leads to a low birth rate, which is detrimental to the economy. Huh?
How, Sway?
When people don't marry, they often don't have children, right? But they can also get each other pregnant, but that's not an average person's desire to have children outside of wedlock, regardless of what Cam Newton says. He just wants children to just come from above without getting married. No, never mind what those kind of people say. The reality is that most people, they don't want to create children outside of wedlock because at the very minimum, they would like the idea of a help in raising those children, right? Like, that's not a bad thing, right? So it says when people don't marry, they often don't have children, resulting in an aging population and cannot contribute as effectively to economic growth. Wait, so population contributes to economic growth? Well, it's not a linear formula, right? It's not, I was trying to speak a smaller English. It's not a linear relationship. That's better, all right? Some of you know math, right? There's not a linear relationship between population and economic growth, but there is some type of relationship. But there are some other X factors, right? If you have 200 million people that's always thinking about how they will collect money from government, that's not going to help, right? But if you have 200 million people and a certain percentage of them are being groomed to be productive as individuals, the more people you have like that, of course, now the relationship between population and economic growth is same direction, right? So some of these countries are trying to counter the low birth rate. So many countries are offering incentives for married couples. Okay. So it's not just these three countries that are offering some kind of incentives. They are also offering, like, well, it's not just cash. They're also offering, the three ones are offering cash, I think, right? Some type of money. But many countries around the world offer incentives, right? Something of value, right? All right, so let me see here. For better society, I thought they said we are overpopulated on this planet. Which is it? It depends on what we're talking about now, just like everything else in life, right? Yeah, which is it? But the countries, remember, it's nations that are trying to compete with other nations with respect to economic growth, right? So yes, around the world, they're talking about overpopulation all around, right? Or depending on what the subject is. Then it's not just population of who and what type of people. All that is, those are big conversations that very powerful people are having behind the scenes. So don't get it twisted. There's certain type of people that they don't want to exist, and there's certain type of people that they want to obvious. So for example, if you say you want more population, you don't want population that will basically be living off of other people, right? You want population that are productive as much as possible. Chidima says more people equals to more workforce or more revenue, taxes generated, and more industry production, more military numbers. There you go. We're getting there. D says Japan, there has been a heavy decline in birth rates. A wave of women are choosing not to deal with men. Drizzle, is it drizzle, or sprinkle? Voila. Young men are also holding off on marriage for financial reason. Drizzle. These are real things happening out there. Pay attention. Society also prefers for children to be born within the context of marriage. Why? Right? There's a why behind that. And I think we've already hit that on the head. It's economic growth, right? Let me keep going here. So among many countries that are incentivizing, we have Germany, we have Italy, we have Iceland, we have Singapore, we have France, we have the Netherlands, Russia, Luxembourg. I've never heard of that country before. I have not. Is that a country? Luxembourg? Anyway, and others allowed married couples to be taxed jointly. Okay, United States allow married couples to be taxed jointly, and like they said here, it relieves the tax burden. It reduces the amount of taxes they actually have to pay. So that's, I don't know if you want to call that indirect incentivizing, but that is, to me, that's directly incentivizing us for being married, for at least claiming on the taxes that when you're filing taxes that you're married and you're doing it jointly. There are couples, they actually give couples the option to file married but filing separately. Married but filing, they actually give them the options. But it usually means they've opted to have a lot more tax burdens, right? Anyway, so it's all these countries, right? They allow married couples to be taxed jointly rather than individually, which can lower their tax burden. Singapore and Russia also provide loans and housing benefits to married couples. Additionally, some countries even offer financial incentives for single people to get married. Okay, so what we're talking about in this segment is that they're actually giving people money to get married. So number one on that list is Japan. Japan, yes. Japan is offering people money to get married. All right, let's see what they said about them here. In Japan, newlywed couples can receive up to 600,000 yen, $5,700, equivalent of $5,700, I guess US dollars, to cover their rent and other living expenses if they live in a municipality that has adopted Japan's newlywed support program. There you have it. So Japan is definitely number one on the list. Luxembourg is in Europe. Okay. All right. The aging population versus the low birth rate is a serious conversation being had in the West. Yes. Some of us are just having conversations around, don't have children. Yeah, I get that. Depends on, we're probably talking to more individuals when we say that. But when it comes to nation building, If you remember, one of the purposes of marriage that I have on my 7 purposes of marriage is actually it's nation building. I'm trying to put it up right now. You see on the screen, 7 purposes of marriage: romance, companionship, family and legacy. Number 4, multiplying and nation building. When I say multiplying, I mean that in every sense. Multiplying economic growth, all of that, Now, is it always applicable to individuals? Not necessarily. See how the conversation changes, right? When you're dealing with macro to micro, the conversation can change very quickly. All right. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Hungary. Number 2 is Hungary on the list. Hungary provides couples who married before the bride's 41st birthday. If you marry before your 41st birthday, they provide you with subsidized loans of up to 10 million forints, is equivalent of $33,000. Okay, the Hungarian government is granting married couples a 10 million forint, about 30,000 euro. Do you say euros or euro? I don't know how you guys. About 30,590 euros loan that they are not required to repay if they have 3 children. So if you get married, they first of all give you the loan and they'll subsidize it heavily, right? But if you have 3 children, you don't have to pay it back. Interesting. All right. I know I said that you guys guess what the number 2 is. Well, number 2 is Hungary. Can you guess what number 3? You won't believe what number 3 is. It's not Nigeria. Nigeria is not giving anybody to have children. sorry, Nigeria. Nigeria is not giving anybody money to marry. Okay, Nigeria is not giving anybody money to have children. But Nigeria is giving people money to not have children at this point. No, actually, not that either. Anyway, not too far. Toby and Tribe, hello, says maybe they want a stable family, life, values. Family does create stable lifestyle to a large extent, yes. All right, so value, less crime and societal decline and disorder. That's part of it. These are part of the conversation, right? Absolutely. Welcome, Chinye. Be like say, Junjun say, be like say, I will move. Oh, that money is a lot. Okay, all right. Let's see. I can have marry and I can have marry and have 3 more children. You mean you can remarry and have 3 more children? Yeah. Some people are moving down there. I'm telling you, this is real. This is a real conversation out there. Go do some search. Having a stable, healthy family dynamic significantly reduces a lot of ills that plague the larger society. Absolutely, absolutely. These are some of the conversations we're not having out there when we're making these decisions. Okay, these are some of the part of the conversation. So number 3 on the list is South Korea. South Korea. Shout out to Temi Iwalaye. That's the person that put this together on pulse.ng. South Korea is known for its declining marriage rate. Couples who find love in South Korea and make it to the altar could earn between $64,000 to $85,000. That's a lot of money. Jesus Christ. If the pilot experiment is successful, the plan intends to expand the program in 2025 to include international nationals who work or live in the region. Some people are like, wait, how can I enter South Korea? I want a wife. I want a husband. There are rumors that women don't want to get married in South Korea to South Korean men because they aren't treated well by them. It's not just your own people. Oh, Nigerian men are always Yoruba men are always like Benin men are the only one. It's not just you. Okay. Remind yourself. I know it's easy to generalize, but just remind yourself from time to time. Okay. And I know it's super easy to generalize based off of your own experience. I get that. But So before you generalize, just jump on the internet sometimes and do a little bit of research. You might just find out like, oh, maybe I don't have to marry those ones. Maybe I can go and marry other people's reject. Okay, I don't mean it like that. I apologize. But other people's people that they don't want, and then collect $65,000. Now the question is that, are you willing to deal with those men that people don't want to marry? Because they are probably generalizing. I'm sure there are good men in South Korea, of course. Changing attitude towards marriage and traditional relationships, as some people will prefer casual relationships or cohabitations. I will be hearing conversation about cohabitation. Oh, cohabitate before you marry, so you can find out everything there is to marry about that. Wala. As some people will prefer casual relationship or cohabitation, and the financial implications of marriage deter people from getting married in this country. So now the country is saying, hey, come and marry our people. We give you money. We'll give you money. Oh, Lord. Those societies, according to D, also have a heavy religious and conservative influence. Chidima says, all these monies they are calling, these countries will be the new jackpot location now. I'm telling you. You might be late to the party. A lot of people are already going in that direction, by the way. D says, my guilty pleasure when everybody does is female nagging and whining voice. Really? Whining. I don't know how to feel about that. I feel some type of way. Anyway, those are the 3 countries that pay you to get married. All right. Yeah. If you want to consider moving to those countries. But I think I wanted you to just know that marriage is very valuable, not just at individual level, at a societal, governments, powerful people in the world are discussing this, and it's the impact of marriage or lack thereof is heavy on society at large. So I just want to see if I can wake you up to a certain type of conversation beyond just, oh, I'm not happy, I want to run away. No, I don't think it's fixable. Okay. All right. I think we should be asking more questions anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry. Not the rejects. Not the rejects. I'm so sorry. The people that they don't want, that their women don't want to marry. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. I am curious to see what your thoughts are about this whole getting paid to get married thing. What else? Because every new solution creates new problems. What problem do you anticipate are going to be created when you pay people to get married? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we are here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve. All right, another story time. Who's ready for the story? I told you. I've got a ton of them, so I am unpacking them as we go. We're gonna be doing more and more of this because I believe we all learn from them. Okay, I'm losing myself in this marriage. Okay, so this is also the story that's going to help us anchor the stuff I wanted to share with you around the 4 horsemen of divorce, how to predict and prevent a marriage apocalypse. We're going to talk about that. And to be say big English. I said, huh? And so we have to do big English to get to some of the root of this issue. So How many people have seen the pop the balloon with the older people? Speaking of big English, even myself are confused, right? But English, I think one of the major issues when it comes to language with Nigeria is enlightening people in local dialects and languages. I think that's going to be a big part of the future of Nigeria. Because when you're asking certain people to start to speak English, it creates certain ambiguity. Another big English, Jesus help me. It creates certain ambiguity that is not really helping, So, one problem I've discovered over the years as I've been having these conversations and helping people is that I've actually needed the patience more. Because sometimes when people say some things, it might sound problematic, triggering, but actually is their way of structuring sentences that is creating the disconnect. So we have to be super patient. That's one. Super patient when you're discussing with people. So I know that I'm far removed from the way that an average person in Nigeria, average to 200 million people, average how they structure their English sentences. And by the way, many of them that have moved to the abroad as well, how they structure and how I'm receiving what they're saying. So I have to really calm down and make sure that I take the time to understand where they're coming from before I offer any kind of counsel. It's very, very important. Okay. Now, obviously, it's very helpful because I know the culture, but even beyond that, So I think being able to have this kind of topics in our local dialects, you can speak it in Benin, in Isoko, Yoruba, Usobo, Igbo, Hausa, being able to say all of this stuff, this is one of my future dreams, being able to teach people, coach people so they can also put out some of this kind of content in those languages. I think so many lives will be saved, because even sometimes when you use big English, right, and you use it to try to teach people emotional intelligence, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it just sounds like completely foreign to them, and but even in Yoruba language, there are so many proverbs, right, that speaks directly to emotional intelligence, so it takes a lot of effort, open-mindedness to get to that space where we can have that conversation. But language barrier is a big deal. It's also creating lots of problem for a lot of people. So if you guys saw they pop the balloons with the older people, that's a Chidima says possible problem. Before we get into the story, we'll get to the story now. I have a story coming up. I'm losing myself in this marriage. I got you on that. Possible problems with paying people to get married. Society incentivizes a sacred institution, and people will marry for the wrong reasons. Yes, these are problems that we also need to talk about and make sure we mitigate the risk before we can just say that's the absolute solution. Every solutions create new problems, and that's going to be part of the conversation. We need much more than paying people to get married. D says, how about investing in tools relating to sustaining the marriage ministry? Exactly. These are some of the things I'm talking about, right? How about a marriage school before people go and say I do? I'm not talking about 2 weeks marital counseling. I'm not talking about random willing to go back and forth couples therapy that you're not really paying attention, where they will tell you like, oh, bring dildo. Let's practice this. Let's jump into the eggs of about actual real things, scenario-based conversations that people can have before they actually jump into this thing called marriage. Marriage is not anybody's mate. If you pay me, then I'm literally your employee. If I develop myself professionally, I'll resign from the marriage and join another. Wala. Anyway, they pay them to get married, but do they also pay them to stay married? Another angle. Well, they pay them to have 3 children in South Korea. If you have 3 children, you don't have to pay the loan back, right? And I understand what they mean by the big English. You now get it. You now get it. All right, so let's get into it. I have a story here. I'm going to read it to you right now. And then I want us to really talk and see if you guys can advise this person. Okay. Dear Madam Prestige. Dear Madam Prestige, I've never thought I'd be writing this, but I am at my wit's end and don't know where else to turn. I've been married. No, this is the wrong one. I think that's the one from tomorrow. Okay, this is the right one. I was looking at the subject line, it's different. Lord help me. This subject one is I'm losing my marriage in this. I'm losing myself in this marriage. Okay, dear Madam Prestige, I really need someone to listen to me. My name is Kunle. We changed names, okay? And I moved to Canada from Nigeria 10 years ago after my wife Miriam helped me get a spousal visa. He's imported. At first, I thought this was the start of a beautiful life together, but now I don't know who I am anymore. I feel like a shadow of myself. When I first arrived, things seemed okay, but soon after, Miriam started complaining about everything I did. I didn't clean up the way she liked. She'd say, "You never do anything right." If I tried to help in the kitchen, it was, "Why can't you just stay out of my way?" At first, I thought she was just stressed from work or maybe tired, but the comments never stopped. They became sharper. Now, even the simplest things I do seem to annoy her. It got worse when she started mocking me in front of her friends. She would roll her eyes and say things like, "You know, Kunle, he doesn't understand how things work in Canada." Or she'd make jokes about how I talked or dressed, and everyone would laugh. But it wasn't funny to me. It felt like she was telling me without saying it outright that I'm not good enough. I tried to talk to her about how it hurt me, but she always brushes it off. "You're being too sensitive. It's just a joke." When I tried to defend myself and explain my side, she cuts me off, saying, "You always want to play the victim. It's like nothing I say matters." She blames me for everything that goes wrong. If we have money problems, it's because I'm not contributing enough, even though I'm working 2 jobs to keep us afloat. If she's in a bad mood, it's because I did something to upset her. I'm always on edge, trying to avoid her anger, but nothing seems to work. Now, she just ignores me most of the time. If I try to have a conversation, she walks away or just stares at her phone like I'm not even there. Days can go by without us speaking a single word to each other. I've tried to ask her what's wrong, to fix things, but she gives me the cold shoulder. It's like talking to a wall. I can't even remember the last time we had a real conversation. I feel trapped and alone in this marriage. I don't have family here, and she's always telling me how lucky I am that she brought me to Canada. She makes it sound like I owe her my life, and that makes it even harder to say anything. I'm scared to open up to anyone because I don't want to be seen as ungrateful or weak. Ouch. I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of feeling like I'm invisible in my own home. I'm tired of feeling like I'm always on the wrong side of everything. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Thank you for reading. I just needed to get this off my chest. Sincerely, Kunle. All right. Now, I did initiate a conversation with him, and we're starting a new conversation, and I think it's going to be on the same path. But I wanted to bring this to us. Let's talk. What y'all think? Any advice? Any advice for Mr. Kunle? Shout out to Mr. Kunle. That's not his real name. Okay. Shout out to Mr. Kunle. Welcome, Tonya. Tonya, good morning to you. Whoever that is, I think it's morning or something on your end. Chia, what's not nice? What happened? What happened? Did you guys hear? I want to hear that. I'm waiting now for your advices. Oh, Toby and Tribe. Let's talk. Well, how would you advise Mr. Kunle? Men too, they suffer. Oh, hey, men are suffering. Oh. I know you never expected it, but men are suffering inside of marriage. But it doesn't matter because we don't do gender war here. It's just case by case by case by case. So let me hear it. Let me get you guys grab the full gist, or you want me to read it again? You guys grab the full gist, or you want me to read it again? Let's pressure to what? Pressure.
Everything I do, I will. My pressure to what?
There's pressure. There is pressure. Imported man. What would you, if this was your brother, if this was your dad, maybe you're a stepdaughter still in Nigeria or something. If this is somebody you know personally, what would you say to them, right? To help them. He's tired. Well, he's tired, but it's not just easy for him to leave. Also, he doesn't have anybody in Canada, so it's maybe this is what Uncle Beno was talking about, the loneliness. He was talking about the loneliness, right? He's probably also lonely too, right? Let me see. Some of my gender get for body no be lie at all. Wala. Advice: call Uncle Beno's lawyer. Wala. Oh, Uncle Beno, where are thou? I was referring to when he said she would make fun of him to their friends. Oh, that part. That's what you mean by that's not nice. Yeah, a lot of people don't pay attention to that. You recall she said you're too being sensitive, right? It's just a joke. What could be a joke to you might not be exactly a joke to other people. Yes, some of them are people you're having sex with in the same household, and you expect them to get your joke, but they're feeling some type of way with your jokes. Mr. Kule, sorry, you're going through such. It's always a problem if a troublesome person brings you abroad. Voila. Are you saying there's a type of people that bring people abroad and they will never drag you through this? Yeah, I believe that too, especially if they've been coming through Prestige family. Of course. You can import people abroad, and you can be emotionally intelligent to not be this offensive. It's possible. But the natural human being, most people normally, they don't really realize they're hurting or offending another person. And oftentimes they have coconut head to self-correct if you correct them. So remember when we talked about correction earlier on Antibe's platform today? On a serious note though, what does he want? Are there children involved? Does he have complete pali? All this will determine. He has spousal visa, that's all we know. All this will determine the best course of action for him. Yeah, there was no complaint about him not being able to work. This is purely, sounds like it's purely emotional. Sorry, what and who is paying for marriage? Please recap if you don't mind. We're in a new segment. I might have to reread this story. We're in this story segment now. I was brought abroad and I was reminded every time till I don't give a damn again. This is a very common behavior that is causing a lot of people problems. There was one point my wife would tell me, Onsi Regun is like, it's like I did something for her, but I'm bringing it up. It's a very complicated thing. So I did something for her abroad. I didn't bring my wife abroad. We met here, but I'm just saying other things that maybe I've done for her, right? So when we're in the middle of argument, right? Maybe she's insinuating that I'm not enough, right? So I will point those things out, but then it becomes you are pointing out the things you do for me, and then it makes me feel like, wait, but you are saying I don't do enough for you. So it's not as simple as one person just dragging a person for doing something for them. A lot of these issues are two-way streets. That's why I keep always asking people to pay attention to their own side. Self-reflection, self-awareness is key in all of this. There are some people that are extreme. There's some people that they are extreme at reading meanings to everything. See? It gets very complicated. This I should read it again. Let me read it again. Where are we here? All right. So here we go. Subject line. I'm losing myself in this marriage. Dear man of prestige, I really need someone to listen to me. My name is Kunle, and I moved to Canada from Nigeria 10 years ago. It's been 10 years. So he has Pali, 10 years ago, after my wife Miriam helped me get a spousal visa. At first, I thought it was the start of a beautiful life together, but now I don't know who I am anymore. Okay, 10 years fly by the way, fly by real quick. I feel like a shadow of myself. When I first arrived, things seemed okay, but soon after, Miriam started complaining about everything I did. If I didn't clean up the way she liked, she'll say, "You never do anything right." If I tried to help in the kitchen, it was, "Why can't you just stay out of my way?" At first, I thought she was just stressed from work and maybe tired, but the comments never stopped. They became sharper. Now, even the simplest things I do seem to annoy her. It got worse when she started mocking me in front of our friends. She would roll her eyes and say things like, "You know, Kunle, he doesn't understand how things work in Canada." There are people that brought people 15 years ago. They're still saying, "You don't know how Canada works," or America or UK, whatever one. Or she'd make jokes about how I talk or dressed and everyone would laugh. But it wasn't funny to me. It felt like she was telling me, without saying it outright, that I'm not good enough. I tried to talk to her about how it hurt me, but she never brushes it off. "You're being too sensitive. It's just a joke." Close quotes. When I tried to defend myself or explain my side, she cuts me off, saying, "You always want to play the victim." You see all those comments. All those comments are hurtful comments. Anyway, it's like nothing I say matters. She blames me for everything that goes wrong. If you have money problems, it's because I'm not contributing enough. Even though I'm working 2 jobs to keep us afloat. If she's in a bad mood, it's because he's working 2 jobs to keep us afloat. He can work, right? But if she's in a bad mood, it's because I did something to upset her. I'm always on edge, trying to avoid her anger, but nothing seems to work. Now, she just ignores me most of the time. If I try to have a conversation, she walks away and just stares at her phone like I'm not even there. Okay? So she's dismissive, right? Days can go by without us speaking a single word to each other. I've tried to ask her what's wrong to fix things, but she gives me the cold shoulder. It's like talking to a wall. I can't even remember the last time we had a real conversation. I feel trapped and alone in this marriage. I don't have family here, and she's always telling me how lucky I am that she brought me to Canada. She makes it sound like I owe her my life, and that makes it even harder to say anything. I'm scared to open up to anyone because I don't want to be seen as ungrateful or weak. Right? So he's starting to feel guilt because it's been 10 years, but also he's trying to hold himself to that, like she brought you abroad. I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of feeling like I'm invisible in my own home. I'm tired of feeling like I'm always on the wrong side of everything. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Thank you for reading. I just need to get this off my chest. Sincerely, Kunle. So, did we learn anything new? That was the previous story, maybe. Yeah, that was the previous segment. Yeah. Why is bringing someone abroad should be a problem? You brought me so we can build family. Can we focus on that? I know it shouldn't be a problem, but there are underlying issues. That actually is never the problem. Though they are saying it's never the problem. It's just one of those easiest things to point fingers at when you don't know what you're doing. So they start to talk about how you don't appreciate me, right? Or they might bring it up if you keep saying things that make them feel like they've never done anything for you. Or it is just their personality. There's some personality, they like to brag about everything they've done. Okay? I'm not going to generalize. There are certain group of people, right, that everybody have generalized and say, they will tell you what I've done. I'm not going to say it's on those people. It might be how many degrees they have. Like, where I'm from, we are educated people. You never know. We are very educated people. And then your wife is sitting down there. She only has GSS. And then you're asking like, but maybe it's me that married you. Why are you, When I was saying that where I'm from, we get degrees, I wasn't talking to you. You might have been saying it for years, but not just that one thing. Many, many other things, right? That kind of like following the same, because it's your personality. So you apply the same personality in every other aspect, and you have no idea how much resentment that person has been building inside. That's what we're talking about. So for your story and this person's story, it happened to be an imported situation. It could be anything. It could be more education, more money. It could be how you were trained. Is that how you were trained in your household? Remember when you were telling us the story of how somebody sent you back to home, to your mother? Yeah, these are the kind of conversations. right? So instead of dealing with the personality and understanding, we deal with the actual offense, and we never get anywhere because, you know, I've read it too. If you bring someone abroad to marry them, Chinye says, it's because they saw a value in you and wanted to marry you. Point blank, period. If they are bringing it up, right? Let me finish Chinye's comment. They happened to not live in Nigeria, so they are bringing their spouse to be. Right. There's some kind of value they found in you, right? But if they are bringing it up, these other issues is just the easiest thing to point finger at when they feel like you're not appreciative, right? Why they feel you're not appreciative in this moment, right, is something that they should be talking about, not the importing you from like 10 years ago. But believe it or not, people are still doing this. Some people will hold that around your neck for the lifetime. I'm the one that brought, this person came through me to America. They stay with me. You know, one of my best friends, he's always talking about, actually, I think he watches the show too. He's always talking about, every time he says that, because I accommodated when he came, I was like, it's always awkward. It's always not comfortable because I'm like, everybody did something for all of us, right? But some people is the opposite. They're always bringing up what they did for you. And a lot of times it's personality, and, if it's not too deep, you see it as what it is and leave it alone. Because they probably have done that in many other aspects. You haven't paid attention. But now it hurts because it's this one pain point for you. So should you just ignore it? No. We'll talk about what to do with that in a second. With them and build. So rubbing it in their faces so they want a clap or piece of candy. Yep. The way she's treating him, I think that woman might be fed up of him. Toby and Tribe. Really? Maybe. It's possible. It's possible. But some people have bad manners and behavior. Don't get it twisted. Some people have bad manners and behavior. So let's see here. Adebusola says, how old is he? This gentleman is around 36, 37 years old. If she's open to fixing it, they can do counseling together. No, she's probably not open to fixing it. She's probably just very comfortable in her funk. She's probably saying, I beg, I don't have time. Yeah. That's usually what it looks like. Remember, he said that anytime I try to have, what is it? I'll come back to it. I'm still going to analyze it, line by line. She is at this point, counseling will be the way to go, even if it's starting first and including her. Yeah, because if you don't know what you're doing, you ask. If you're confused, it's time to learn something new, right? It's like anything else in life. Actions are a symptom of something deeper, all right? Oh, Bernie. A woman cannot just be bad manners in peace. It must be something deeper. Okay. Shout out to you guys. I haven't seen anybody say, what did he do? I haven't seen anybody say that yet. There is a buildup of resentment, and that needs to be unpacked. 10 years is a long time. This August makes it 10 years for me here abroad. Yes, it adds up real quick. It should not be ashamed. Nobody is above collecting one or two in life. Right, good one. I'm just here. Toby and Tribe says, deep down, that woman is very angry with him. They need to figure out the root of that anger. I mean, I don't know if we can narrow it down to anger, but maybe, but if she's angry, it could be that, and it could be many, many other things, But today, I definitely want to group all of this under 4 things. I call them John Gottman called them the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. We're going to talk about that. But before we get into the 4 horsemen of John Gottman's 4 horsemen of apocalypse, something like that. Before we get into that, I want to do an analysis line by line of that thing. Welcome, Black Diamond. Good to see you. Let's see. Okay, so let me go back. So I really need someone to listen to me. My name is Kunle, and I moved to Canada from Nigeria 10 years ago after my wife, Miriam, helped me get a spousal visa. At first, I thought this was the start of a beautiful life together, but now I don't know who I am anymore. I tell people all the time, I said, you've lost yourself inside of that marriage. Men, at least this person said, I don't know who I am. Men usually don't say, I've lost myself, but yeah, you lose a sense of your own identity because you're spending such a long time, 10 years, trying to appease, trying to please another person, right? From a place of guilt. It doesn't pan out well, right? And why some people come from a place of guilt because they don't seek the help that they need. They try to use common sense. They try to use okay, maybe if let me just take if they go low, I go high. It's not that simple too, because if you're operating from a place of guilt, you're going to resent yourself and that person eventually. So, and no, we're not looking for balance here. We're just making sure that you have enough in you as an individual before you can be trying to give to other people. When I say enough in you, as in like, take your time to understand that you are giving value to another person. You're not just appeasing them. You're not just trying to, because all that is going to be short-term fix. If all you do is just kissing her ass, it will be short-term. Okay? And she will, the more you do that, the lower she'll be attracted to you, and especially sexually, because that's not the man that she fell in love with, right? Okay, I feel like a shadow of myself. When I first arrived, things seemed okay, but soon after, Miriam started complaining about everything I did. Okay, complaining about everything I did. There's some level of exaggeration there. This story that I've read thus far is less than 1% of everything that's happening. Okay, that's my assumption, which is why I ask more questions. I ask more and more and more questions, right? But we can work with what we have. But when somebody say Miriam complained about everything I did, that's his output. That's his experience. It doesn't make it invalid, but we also know that he's probably just caught up in his feelings, you know. By the weight of every time she complains is a big deal for him, right? So and if you hear that long enough, you will keep expecting it, right? Is it his fault? It's not his fault, right? But that's his experience. So we need to nail that. If I didn't clean up the way she liked, she'd say, you never do anything right. Okay. So she's also exaggerating. You know how he said, everything I did, hey, nothing's ever right. But she, in her commentary, because people say that a lot, you never do anything right, right? Anything, nothing, I never do anything right. Like nothing, like in this life. Right? So now she's exaggerating. If you know she's exaggerating, then maybe calm down. Maybe she's whatever she's saying. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean anything right? And then she's like, I'm just saying, right? So they're also speaking from a place of emotions. So what do you do with that as an individual? You recognize that there's a lot of emotions going back and forth. If you recognize that, that's a great start, right? As opposed to interpreting as like, offensive, right? It is offensive. That's a fact. But now you have to rise above that, right? So she's doing it. You now do it back. It doesn't help anything. That becomes tit for tat, back and forth. Now you see the way this story is being framed is like he's the victim, right? Let's keep going. If I tried to help in the kitchen, it was, why can't you just stay out of my way, right? At first, I thought she was just stressed from work or maybe tired, but the comments never stopped, okay? So if the comments never stopped, it's time for you to stop and seek help, right? What do you mean? It can even start, like when I say seek help, you don't really have to go and hire anybody yet, but just stop. Like, you mean, right? And if you have to repeat yourself multiple times, that form of communication is not working. I say that all the time. They became sharper. Her comments became sharper. That means enu be razor, like mouth like a little weapon. That's what he's describing here. Let's not pretend that there are no people with mouth like little weapon here. Stop it. Now, even the simplest things I do seem to annoy her. At least he said seem to annoy her. Basically, he's been walking on eggshells. That's what he's saying. He's been walking on eggshell. It got worse when she started mocking me in front of her friends. She would roll her eyes and say things like, you know, Kunle, he doesn't understand how things work in Canada. Right. So that person is not necessarily paying attention to how their words, they don't mean any harm. I believe her that she's joking around. But a lot of people are not paying attention to how their jokey joke can actually hurt other people. All right. Or they will just just because I didn't mean to hurt you, you cannot say it hurt you. That's low levels of emotional intelligence. You can't say that. You can't say just because you didn't mean to hurt them. You can't say just because you had good intention, they're not hurt. That's emphatically wrong. All right. Or she'd make jokes about how I talked or dressed. So accents, people just move from Canada, or they just happen to have a thicker accent. Listen, some people happen to have thicker accent than others. Okay, even if they are born in the same household and they came to America at the same time, right? Now, what is the big deal? Who are we asking what is the big deal to? Right? If you are the one saying what is the big deal and your person keep complaining about it, it is a big deal to them, right? If you are the one saying it's a big deal to me, look at the other person and say they're joking too, right? But who's going to take the higher road? Who's going to say no big deal, right? Who's going to say sometimes I'm too serious, like it's not that deep, right? Who's going to do that? I don't know, I don't know. It just depends. It depends on so many other factors, right? But that something's going to have to give at some point. Give how? Give in exchange for some other type of value, maybe your peace of mind, right? You can't make fun of my accent. It's not possible. I don't know how you're going to do it, right? I don't know how you're going to do it. But some people, it's a pain point for them because it makes them feel less than. It makes them feel like, because, if they say they don't like it, leave it alone. Don't keep pressing it, right? But I'm just saying, there are people with different personalities, different things here. But maybe that's, I said, the way I talked and dressed. Maybe he's not a dress sharper, but you married him that way. So if you like him to dress better, fix him up. But bros, again, they say the way you talk or dress, ask them what they mean, right? And be okay, be content in yourself. Because this idea of looking for other people to make you happy, right? I understand that we're in a romantic relationship and I kind of yield to you in terms of some level of my happiness. I get that. But ultimately, you're responsible for your own happiness. So I'm just saying, So there are other ways you can overcompensate for the way you talk or dress or your accent or any of these kind of things. But I'm just giving you all the possibilities of what people could refer to, so how I talk and dress. But the part here is that he feels a sense of embarrassment because the friends are involved, right? He said in front of her friends, right? Everyone would laugh, right? So nobody wants to be embarrassed or feel embarrassed. And it's your own embarrassed, it's not their own embarrassed, right? But what most people will say is exactly what she said. He said, but it wasn't funny to me. It felt like she was telling me without saying it outright that I'm not good enough. I tried to talk to her about how it hurt me, but she always brushed it off. You're being too sensitive. It's just a joke. So if somebody is saying they feel some type of way about something, right? And your response to them is you're being too sensitive, it's just a joke. You're literally shutting them down to ever bring it up again. It's punishment. You're punishing that person unless they give you basketballs. You're literally shutting them down for life because they already feel embarrassed, but you're doubling down on the embarrassment, right? So they're not like, am I too sensitive? Am I not too sensitive? But it's still there. It's still an issue, right? Anyway, I'm just saying, when I try to defend myself or explain my side, she cuts me off saying, you always want to play the victim. See, doubling down and just this idea like I'm going to lock you inside that victimhood that you are, right? Is she intentionally doing that? Yeah, but not like, it's not relevant. It's like some people just have coconut head, right? Like they don't want to feel like they are not correct. Right? They're not right. Right? They are right. So maybe she also feel less than, like she felt less than that. Like, no, I think just because her intention wasn't that, she's busy fighting the intentions, the good intentions she had, as opposed to paying attention to what it makes the other person feel like. Right? All right. So it's like nothing I say matters. She blames me for everything that goes wrong. If we have multiple, remember I said that's all exaggeration, but that's how emotions work. Emotions make you feel like exaggerating, like it's your full-blown experience, right? So we can't invalidate it, What we need to do when you are encountering somebody who is expressing their emotions, meaning they're exaggerating everything, is to really lean in, and that's how painful that thing is for them. That thing that's taking over their full brain and their full experience with you. And if you're not careful, you said you go collect. Because that could be somebody who is super valuable to you, but maybe you're not paying attention yet. Some people just don't pay attention until they hit rock bottom. Let's keep going. All right, where am I to? Okay, you always want to play the victim. It's like nothing I say matters. She blames me for everything that goes wrong. If we have money problems, it's because I'm not contributing enough, even though I'm working 2 jobs to keep us afloat. If she's in a bad mood, it's because I did something to upset her, right? What did I do to upset her? She's upset. It's because of me. Isn't always my fault? These are where those questions are coming from. I'm always on edge at trying to avoid her anger, but nothing seems to work. Trying to avoid anger is the wrong angle. So what do you mean? Should I make her angry or not make her angry? No, you need to communicate how you feel, right? And then remove yourself. That's the first step. Okay. If you're repeating yourself, that form of like you're incentivizing the bad behavior. You're engaged, even though you're saying what you don't want, but you are engaging the bad bulls, right? Anyway, she walks away or just stares at her phone like so. You talk until that person literally walk away from you. That's usually what that is. Okay. So now you have a man that may be called a nag. Yeah, some men get called the nag. Just in case you're finding out for the first time. Days can go by without us speaking a single word to each other. I've tried to ask her what's wrong to fix things, but she gives me the cold shoulder. So she also dished the silent treatment. She does the stone walling, literally. It's like talking to a wall, see? I can't even remember the last time we had a real conversation. I feel trapped and alone in this marriage. I don't have family here. So he feels lonely too, right? He feels like he's alone, right? So, but it's been 10 years. How come he doesn't have family here? You never see anything yet. And she's always telling me how lucky I am that she brought me to Canada. She makes it sound like I owe her my life. Yeah, if somebody brought you to Canada and they keep talking about ask them, you want me to go back? You can take me back home, you know. She makes it sound like I owe her my life, and that makes it even harder to say. And you know why you won't ask her or him, you want me to go back? It's because they're paying you too, right? It's because you two, you've over engaged that rhetoric. You brought me to Canada. Okay, you brought me to Canada. Sure. I appreciate that. As my visa expired, okay, let's get back to the conversation that we should be having. Because other things are going on. They just have a tendency to pull that in, right? So how that plays out depends. People to people, why they bring that up. People, again, some people just have the personality of reminding people what they did for them. It's bad, but if you're married to them, you're married to them. Sorry. I'm scared to open up to anyone because I don't want to be seen as ungrateful or weak. He will be seen as ungrateful and weak by many, many people. So if you're going to vent, I think men should vent, men should talk, but they should always do it within the controlled environment. I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of feeling like I'm invisible in my own home. I'm tired of feeling like I'm always on the wrong side of everything. I don't know how much more of this I can take. You know, something will break at some point if somebody doesn't do anything. Let me come back to the chat. All right. All right. What did I miss? All right. Okay, here we go. Jim says it's a long time to be tired. Yeah. Sometimes it is not rubbing it in the face, but when the spouse who've been with from shit starts talking like you've never done. There you go. Not to. This is the part that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Start talking like you've never done anything for them in life. You are tempted to bring it up. You know, yes, like I said, I've gone through this myself. You know, not imported, but other things that I've done that I felt the need to bring up because you keep saying I don't do shit. Right? So what did I learn? What I learned is that I don't bring up what I've done. I had to learn that first. Because that was my side. Again, you pay attention to your own side. I just don't bring up what I've done before. I learned that it's not about what I've done before. If she says I don't do shit, it's about something else. I just relax and wait, and I'm patient with myself until I find out what the real issue is. This is what active listening look like. It's very difficult, but it's easier when you practice it. It gets easier with time, right? You listen long enough. If somebody is all this bad behavior, is because hurt people. They're hurting somehow, some way. It's not necessarily your fault, right? But you're listening long enough to see exactly what the pain point is. You're looking for an opportunity to add value to them. You cannot add value to them if you don't find out what their pain point is first, right? This is why people end up in basketballs, because they're not adding value to each other, right? But if you listen, what are you listening to? You're not listening to appease them. You're listening deeper, right? You're not reading minds either, but you're listening because they will tell on themselves if you allow them to talk long enough, right? And then you find out what their main pain point is. It's very difficult because it's like I'm asking you to put your own feelings to the side. This is why people end up in basketballs, right? But again, with time, when you start enjoying the benefit of doing this, I don't have to teach you anymore. You will know that you're going to be incentivized properly, right? Brilliantly, abundantly for patience, right? Patience with who? With yourself. If they are talking out of their ass, allow them to go long enough until you find out what their pain point is. And then you add value to that pain point. The pain point is not that they mistakenly brought you from Canada or because you mistakenly brought them from Canada. No, those are the easy things that people point fingers at when they're in pain. Remember, hurt people. They're just looking for ways to hit each other below the belt. Okay. Now, if we don't check this soon enough, it's going to end in divorce. We're going to talk about that in a second, right? So, good point not to. Just to remind me, I know someone that the wife took to UK too, but every time there's a misunderstanding in her words, he would tell her she has not added any value to his life. Yeah, it goes both ways. It's terrible, right? Adamu Salah, welcome. IOP, like I said, he thought her behavior stems from work stress. I think his intuition is correct. But who knows? But what we're not going to do is assume. We're going to find out what the actual pain point is. So if you are the one in this conversation and the other person is giving you basketballs that you don't understand, you listen long enough. It's actually easier from a physical standpoint. It's hard mentally because it's like I'm asking you to be incorrect for a while because you're obsessed with being right like everybody else, right? No, you're not wrong or right. You're just listening. Right? To say you can ask questions. If there's awkward silence, ask questions. Repeat what so you're saying this. Like when you say you're saying this, they will tell you that and they will tell you more to it, right? And it can be very difficult. And again, if you're complaining, you can also lead that conversation. Okay. Again, it's easier said than done because you have all your own point of contention that you want to share. And I'm telling you to hold off on it for a second. It's very difficult, but it's doable. Okay, if you do that long enough, human beings have what we call the law of reciprocity. They naturally want to serve you back. All right. Everybody else is going to tell you it's basketballs. If they don't want help, don't seek help. If it works for you, keep doing it. Let's see. Don't forget she went to the UK to school from a very comfortable family. Fund our trips 20 times to Nigeria to see him. They are both Yoruba, so the wedding was kind of sponsored by her family. Tonya said, this thing called marriage. Don't be being so. Let's see. You can say that again. Some people will pretend that they do not understand why people opt out of getting married altogether. Hey, if that works for you, do it. Sounds like the woman in this story is actually irritated by the guy's look or personality, but doesn't know how to communicate it to him directly. She's been passive aggressive. Yes, it could be low attraction. I can't tell you how many people I know that went to Nigeria to import a person they're not sexually attracted to because they were under pressure. It could be, but we'll find out when we find out. It's been 10 years though. So, and often remember when people tell a story like that, they're only telling less than 1% of the actual story. So you have to actually unpack it. We're just going based on what we see. These highlights in this story are very important. It's what created today's lesson. So I sense that D says, I sense that she is ashamed of him too. The disdain is rather intense. Perhaps she had expectations of him that did not match reality when they started living together. Have you seen my wife look at me before on these shows? Okay. If you've seen her look at me when we're going through our own crisis, you will say the same exact things. Yes, you will use those same exact words, disdain. Have you ever been angry with the man you are romantically involved with before for an extended period of time, as in like more than 3 days before? That's what it looks like. It looks like, you were never interested in that. Are you sure? Even you go question yourself, was this woman ever interested in me? It's when you start to do inventory, they're like, okay, yeah, there was a point here that, yeah, okay, this one was very authentic. You have to do self-reflection and actually do inventory before you, because even you yourself, you question if this person ever loved you. So I'm not surprised that you guys are thinking that, but yeah, people will get into that space where they completely lost that thing to themselves. That spark was gone. It seems like it will never come back again. But let's see. Is it from a bush or village she brought him from to be saying that he is lucky? Is it given classist? Sounds like you've never been imported or imported a person before. Let's just leave it. Or let's just leave it. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, if you have any questions around this, you know how to reach me. My information is scrolling on the screen. But let's go ahead and tackle this 4 horsemen of a thing. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notification so you're notified when we go live. Okay, I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we are here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve. All right, welcome back. Divorce looms, the 4 horsemen of apocalypse. Let's talk about it. I wonder if I have a picture of a guy called John Gottman. It's an American psychologist. He's actually still alive. No, that's not him. Is that him? Let me see if I can find this picture. Yeah, I think that's him actually. 82-year-old man, Yep, 82-year-old man, still alive. He did apparently he did this guy right here. Let me show you guys. This is the guy. I guess that's the wife. I'm not sure if that's the wife right there. Okay, that guy right there. John Gottman. I'll tell you how this masterclass or this segment came along. So I stumbled into a couple on social media yesterday. On Instagram, stumbled into them. They were talking about relationships. They've been married for 8 years. They call them real relationships. So you spell real, R-E-A-L, then you use it to spell relationships podcast. I think his name was Devon Steels and Asha Steels. There you go. Devon and Asha Steels. So they were doing like a live Instagram thingy yesterday, and I was on there. I stumbled into it. I was listening behind the scenes. Let me see. D says, I was not referring to myself MOP, but I can understand. Me too, I can understand that. Let me see. I can understand why people do not marry. Yeah, I can understand that. I also can understand why they will say they don't want to marry and impregnate another person and have children. Maybe not have children. They will just mistakenly have children. They will keep having sex. I can understand it too. Yeah, I know. I'm with you, D. I'm with you. Trust me. Just trust me. Trust me when I tell you to trust me. I'm with you. I understand it.
Not be juju be that.
No, it's not. It's just human beings. You remember what's his name again? Cameron Newton, right? He's afraid of marriage, but he wants to have more children. Pray for a beautiful outcome and healing for the brother who sent his story. I think he's going to be fine because he actually reached out and I'm talking to him. So here's the thing. Divorce looms, the 4 horsemen of apocalypse, right? So I was on that session and they made a statement. Let me see if I can still find the statement. Hey, I think I deleted it. No, it's still here. Yeah, they made a statement. They said, never go to separate counseling to discuss marriage. Research shows that you should never go to separate, as a couple, you should never go to separate counseling to discuss marriage. What do you guys think about that? Okay. You know, so I said research says that. I'm like, oh, interesting. You know, things like that. I find curiosity in it, right? I get curious, you know. So I'm like, oh, I want to research that. I want to see what that study and that research is that says you should never go to counseling about marriage alone as an individual, because study shows something. I don't know if research shows that it never works or something like that. I was like, interesting, you know. Let me dig up because I'm always open to learn. You know, every day I learn something new. Like, for example, I'm being honest with you. I learned about John Gottman, the guy you're looking at on the screen this morning. Okay. So when I was doing the research to learn that, then I found out that a lot of people have dispelled as a myth. Not exactly a myth, but it was a study that he did based off of a selection of people, right? And that was what he came up with at the time. He's an American psychologist. But then there's more studies that's shown that sometimes you need to improve your own communication skills, right? Sometimes you need to understand yourself more, you know, before you can even adequately have discussions around your marriage. This is the angle we come from anyway with our own program. You know, I believe personally that you need to work on yourself. You know, a lot of the counseling therapy you need to do will need to be around self-improvement, personal growth, right? And a lot of problems in marriages is because people continue to correct their partner. They continue to try to work on their partner, hold their partner accountable, so they can't even see where they're going, you know? So when I was doing that study, I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, all right. There was a study. You know, everything is still, I told you, this whole thing called life is a moving target. It's evolving. We got to keep an open mind always. And that's what I try to do. That's what made me go in search. So he did that research. So I was going through some of his work. Then I saw the 4 horsemen, and they said, oh, he did the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I was like, interesting. Let me look into this. I was like, we must talk about this. I was like, okay. So then when I look at it, I see some alignment with this email. So I picked this email that we just covered out. If you missed that email, it will be released as I think I'm losing myself in marriage or something like that. So yeah, that's why we're here to talk about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse today. I'm going to share that with you if you were on to be sure earlier on. I talked about them. All right. So I'm going to get into them a little bit more, but I'm still going to try to finish in decent time here. I don't want us to do overtime. So maybe in the next 15 minutes, let's try. Okay. D says, similar to what you call poisons and anti-seducers. John Gottman, the name rings a bell. Yeah. It's an American psychologist. He's 82 years old now. So we're talking about his work, right? So he did an extensive research on marriage and relationships, as he's done many of them like that. And then he came up with this concept of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, as far as communication styles that will basically predict the breakdown of a relationship. Okay. So very, very important. So this study is able to predict over 90% accuracy based on these behaviors. Welcome, Uncle Beno. All right. So and then remember I told you guys earlier about, I already told you guys, but I'm going to get to them in details right now. There are four communication styles that will literally that will basically over 90%. And I want you guys to share your thoughts with me in how you understand this. Like, if you use this communication, there are communication styles. I know, you know, everybody say I'm a good communicator. What communication style? If it's one of these 4, Now, I'll be that too. So we have criticism, right? We have contempt, and then we have defensiveness, and we have stonewalling. Okay. And then I want us to talk about the negative impact of these 4 different communication styles on relationships. There are many, many theories out there around attachment style, personality style, all these different things out there. There are many, many, many of them out there, right? And oftentimes people wrap their mind around it and they're like, listen, relax. Okay, what's your communication style with respect to your partner is case by case by case by case by unique cases. What it comes down to is that you need to understand. Some people say it's understanding, and when they say it's understanding too, I don't even know what they mean by. Nigerian people are always saying understanding. I say I agree, but what do you mean by understanding? And then they're like, I'm just saying it's understanding. Okay, how do we get to understanding? Right? Because understanding is the end goal. Right? How do we get there? Right? Everybody that's going through marriage problems right now, they know it's communication and understanding. But how do we get there? It's where there's struggles. So anyway, the first horseman is criticism. Let me put that on the screen so we can see it as with a nya. Right? Number 1, first horseman is criticism. It's a communication style that we need to that many people actually have. And what does it look like? Sometimes it looks like correction, okay, but in reality the partner is feeling like their character is attacked. Okay, no, you don't mean that necessarily, but your partner keeps acting like they feel like you're like, how men did like to tell you that they're a good man. I'll say, yes, you're a good man. Right? Yes, you're a good man. I promise you, okay? That has nothing to do with nothing. But that person is receiving experience with you as that they're not good enough for you. They're essentially feeling like their character is attacked quite a lot. Okay? So when you say things like, for example, in that email, when you say things like, you never listen to me, right? You never do anything right. Right? You don't care about anyone but yourself. Like, I know you're speaking from your own pain, right? But that's a communication style, right? As opposed to I feel, using the word I keep saying, like, this is like I said, this is a very quick cheat sheet for everybody. Just I. Make it about you. Own your shit. Like, I feel. What is it that you feel, right? Take your time. You don't have to be in a rush, right? As opposed to saying, you never listen to me. See, you don't have to point the finger, but you might as well just point the finger, right? You don't care about anyone but yourself. These are statements that basically attack a person's character. It is a communication style. It's criticism, right? You're correcting, but you're exaggerating, right? You never listen to me. You never hear my own side of the story. You're losing, essentially, you're saying you've lost patience because, and by the way, you could be correct, but you've lost patience. You're not willing to be patient through that process again, as opposed to ask more questions. Why is this person not listening to you? Or at least own your feelings. I feel like you never listen to my own side of what I have to say. Right? Just start with that. There are better ways to refine that and clean that up, but start with saying I feel. My clients know I make them do it all the time. I say they start to use all, because it's very common. I say I feel, what do you feel? So I can actually work with you. Okay. And to a lot of people, it sounds kumbaya. It sounds like, oh, so are we doing kumbaya, man? We don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. Oh, you don't have time for divorce court. I don't care. We could just go to court. Okay, all right, good. Yeah. If that's what you want. No, of course, but okay, can we stay focused? Okay, let's stay focused. So it leads to feelings of being attacked. When a person is feeling attacked, right, eventually is going to destroy trust. They can't trust you. They can't trust you by expressing themselves to you. Basically, they'll go into their shell. They can't trust you, and of course, it will destroy intimacy as well. Okay, so now this criticism of a thing, the first horseman, study shows that criticism is often one of the first negative patterns to appear in struggling relationships. So if you're seeing this and you notice that this is how you talk and stuff like that, it's probably time to pay attention because it's still early. It's still very, very early. Does that make sense? So it's actually not that deep yet, but it's time to pay attention. Okay. So did you guys like the no, you didn't, because I can see the numbers here. People they didn't like this thumbnail that I created today. You guys didn't like it? Predicting divorce. This one right here. Now no like him. Now. If you like him, you would have packed this place since. But it's all good. We'll get better. Seeing the numbers. Okay. So 4 horsemen, right? So again, study shows that criticism is one of the first negative patterns that you will see. Okay. So you want to practice having a conversation using the I statements. Okay, as opposed to you. You don't have to intend to attack the person before they feel attacked. Just know that and know peace. Okay, just know that at the back of your mind, if you use a lot of you did this, you did that, they're going to feel attacked. Yes, even men are emotional beings, just in case they forgot or they're not aware to tell you. All right, so let's go to second horseman. Contempt. MOP just started, Uncle Beno. We just did Shalaye before now. Yes, so I just started. Me, I will tell you the consequences. So when alarm blow, I go call my lawyer, period. What are you talking about, Uncle Beno? What did I miss? Uncle Beno don't scatter chats now, eh? And the second horseman is contempt. What is contempt? Like I said earlier on the show, it's a fancy word, word. It's a fancy word for an intense disrespect, sense of disrespect, right? So speaking to a partner with disrespect, mockery, again, you don't mean any harm, you're just joking. Like, Kunle doesn't understand anything about Canada, and it's been 10 years. Right? Or you never do anything. Okay, no, that but like when you're speaking to your partner with disrespect, mockery, sarcasm, you're not gonna go and carry that garbage out again. No, I have to remind you every time. Yes, even if you're talking to a woman, right? You just never get anything right. You never listen to me. See, I know you're talking about your feelings. I know to you, you're just being logical. No, you're not logical. Right? Because if you're logical enough, you know that that's going to be received as an attack, right? And you're okay with constant reminding of your loved ones, right? That's okay. Naturally, when you remind people long enough, they naturally want to reciprocate again. And there's some things you have to keep reminding them because it's not something they think about naturally. But then, okay, so I have to remind you all the time. No, you don't have to do that, but you can choose to also make them feel attacked. How far do you think that's going to go? So if you have things like eye rolling against your partner going on, if you're rolling eyes, name calling, obviously, right? All this type of behaviors that we don't necessarily pay attention to, or even easing Nigerians and Jamaicans. Yeah, you got to pay attention to that. Those things will create deep sense of feeling disrespected in your partner. And that's what John Gottman is referring to as contempt. Okay, so it's actually considered, here's the impact on relationship. It's considered to be the most damaging of the 4 horsemen. It conveys a sense of disgust or superiority. You don't ever do you ever appreciate me bringing you from, right? You should feel lucky that I brought you from Niger to this place, right? Some people are very intense with this. They might even say, anybody in your family ever come to America before, right? They say that not in the beginning. They might say that when they feel like your mouth is sharp, like it's just, and they might go very low, right? Is it right? No, it's wrong. That's why we're having this conversation. But I want you to understand that when people are saying that, they often be the people that will come back and say, of course, I didn't mean that. But my wife used to say something, like egg. Words. Your words are like egg. Once it falls and it's splattered all over the floor and it cracks, You can't put it back together anymore, right? Some of those words, you can't take them back anymore. It's very hard. You can, but it's very, very hard, right? Of course, with God, all things are possible. But the impact on relationships when it comes to the second horseman, contempt, is that it's actually the strongest of them. It's the most damaging of the four horsemen because it conveys a sense of disgust or superiority. And they're staying here. Contempt is the strongest predictor of divorce. It's the strongest. That's why you guys are saying there's a disdain. That person is disgusted by him. They're at that level. When I say apocalypse, right? The four horsemen of apocalypse, right? I think there's a study in the scriptures talking about the apostasy, the point of no return. Some people have hit point of no return because they are at this stage, right? There's now name calling. There's all type of things that have been said that some people just can't see themselves back in that situation anymore. And they're still living in their marriage. So it's just a matter of time. So couples who use contempt as a communication style, right, are more likely to suffer from infectious illness due to weakened immune systems. That's what they said. And is the strongest predictor of divorce. All right. So let me see. Let me come back to the chat. I think I saw something. MOP, can contempt also be from lack of attraction, complacency, grass is greener syndrome? Yes, it can. Okay, but I want to focus on at least one of the couple's bad behavior as a communication style. It's just how they talk, right? So if you want to move on, you can actually move on. If you want to leave a marriage, you can actually leave a marriage. You don't have to damage a person before you leave the marriage. You don't have to. But what we find is that a lot of people will yield to this. So the answer is yes. But for the most part, people are just in a space, a very funky place. Sometimes they still have sex, right? Sometimes when they say they have sex, it's out of responsibility, duty, responsibility, obligation, or some type of deal, right? But I'll say yes, but the focus here is as a comment. Some people sometimes it's how they were raised. It doesn't have to mean that they're ready to move on to somewhere else. Sometimes it's just manners, And yes, just because it's just manners, or I was just joking, does not mean it can't end in divorce. Because again, the person feeling the pain is storing resentments. They feel less than. They feel like you don't even need them. Remember what Mr. Kunle said? He said, sometimes I feel like I'm not, something like that. I'm not needed or something without saying it outright, right? So, and then sometimes somebody, maybe you guys have done it to each other, but one person is trying to slow down so that we can stop talking. Maybe you've had conversations around talking like that. And he said, okay. But some people they have very thick potty mouths, right? So, but I think when they say it's one of the most dangerous, they're speaking from a place of the impact that it has on people, because it actually has the capability of shattering people's self-esteem. That's why a person will say, I've lost myself. I don't even recognize myself anymore. Because the last thing a man can be experiencing is a wife that he cares about, and she's just indifferent. She's done. She's just there out of obligation, which is, again, what you guys were picking up earlier on. Right? But some people are not really aware that they talk like that, or that it has that much impact on their partner. That's why we're talking about it right now. So it just depends on everybody's specific situation. Okay, so how do you push against contempt? Build a culture of appreciation. We have 3 core pillars here. It's in the book, the GPS. God or gratitude, purpose or self. Gratitude, appreciation. Build a culture of appreciation. Yeah, the other person is not looking for candy. Just make it a point to say, hey, thank you. Like even after every meal. My wife does a good job at this. The kids, before every meal, once they serve, they say thank you. That's something she made a point to teach them. Just make it a point of duty, not just because you are doing Oyinbo stuff. It's just because you have no idea what's going on in other people. There's still other people, yes, including your children. Okay, so regularly express gratitude and admiration to combat the feelings of contempt. Remember, contempt It's called content because somebody is feeling it, right? Then obviously practice empathy. Make an effort to see things from your partner's perspective. This is not natural. Try to see things from your partner's perspective and respond with kindness. You guys talk about kindness all the time, but I don't think we pay attention to how difficult it can be when you consider that some people just naturally have, or they've been socialized with bad behaviors. Okay, so the third Horseman is defensiveness. Defensiveness. Some people are just ready to fire back, right? It might not even be because of you, right? They're just ready to go, right? Why? Maybe because they've experienced something with you before or other people before, and they will never tolerate again. Me, I will never take. See that attitude right there of I will never take anything. That attitude, sometimes we don't know how much it bites us in the butt, right? That is defensiveness. Okay. Then also lack of accountability, right? A person who, before you tell them that, remember, we're talking about correcting, right? We're talking about people that push against correction, right? So we're talking about correction, you're not paying attention to how the person receives whatever you're trying to correct. Or the person that receives correction, so they are ready to fire back, like, don't correct me, nothing, get out of my face, right? Defensiveness. So now we're talking about the receiving end of correction. You don't like to be corrected, right? There's a way you can. I don't think a person doesn't like to be corrected. Like I was speaking to RTB earlier on, right? It's just you feel some type of way because this person is, in the way they talk, it's like they're talking down. It's like there's a sense of talking down on you, right? So, because of that, you disengage. You're dismissive when somebody is trying to offer another point of view, right? So essentially, we're talking about denying responsibility, denying accountability, deflecting blame in response to a partner's complaint. A partner's complaint is interpreted as correction that make you feel some type of way. So naturally, you just kick against, like, maybe because you've been experiencing, the person just always, they seem like they're talking down you. They don't really consider where you're coming from, right? But again, we're talking about all the sides. These are the signs when people start to speak in defensiveness. These are people that are basically very close to divorce. Okay, so again, denying responsibility, denying accountability, deflecting blame in response to a partner's complaint. Remember, the other person, we've talked about them. They really should not be using blame as a form of communication. But sometimes people do, and sometimes you're digging yourself out of a hole that you guys have dug for yourself for 10 years. So they might be practicing how to do the right thing. So now you need to practice your own side. They're trying to say something to you, makes you feel some type of way. Do you know how to communicate that you feel some type of way? Or what you naturally do, you don't even let them finish, you just fire back. Defensiveness is a communication style that you're responsible for, if that's what you do. You might have your reasons why you do it, because you don't like their mouth. They're too disrespectful. I get it, right? I get it. But these are the things we're talking about. So it's not my fault that we're late. That's an example. You always see the always and the never word. They always find their way into these conversations. You always take too long to get ready. You're talking to your wife. You always take too long to get ready. Okay. Is it true that maybe she's always late? Yes. Again, tone, how you deliver your message, timing, like Auntie B was saying on our platform earlier on, very key. So what's the impact of defensiveness on marriage? Marriage that's about to collapse. It creates a cycle of blame and counter blame, preventing resolution and understanding. You know how some people just want to talk about everything that somebody did wrong to them and they never get anywhere. Yeah. You're defending. See, there's no game you play in life that you win by just playing defense. I say that all the time here, right? Now, Gottman's studies show that defensiveness rarely achieves the desired outcome. You're defending yourself, right? You have your real reason. You know you didn't do anything wrong, but you're not going to achieve that outcome. Almost unlikely, or unlikely that let's just say there's not almost unlikely, right? It's unlikely that you ever achieve that outcome. I know you want to exonerate and tell that person that you are innocent, it's probably not going to work. Okay, what it does is it often escalates conflict because the other person is receiving your defensiveness as an attack. So what can you do? Own your shit. Take accountability, take responsibility, acknowledge any part of the conflict that is yours without saying, hey, you made me do it. Stop saying that. Avoid saying that. Even if it's small, even if that's small part, just owning it, right? That goes a long way. Okay. And as I've always said, active listening, right? Demonstrate, show that you are actually listening and understanding your partner's concerns. That's the only way you're going to get your point across successfully. All right. So yeah, you have to invest some time, some listening skills, right? Even if you don't agree, take your time for your own good to hear where they're coming from. All right. All right. We're doing a little bit over time, but we're almost done. We're almost done. Let's talk about the fourth horseman, stonewalling. Again, this is coming all the way from John Gottman. Yeah, John Gottman. Yes. John Gottman. Let me see here. All right. So let's see here. Chidima says defensiveness also creates a sense of me versus my partner instead of a sense of we. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Nobody wins. Nobody wins. It's a short-term feeling. You might feel like you've won, and then you go back to your corner, but you still feel that toxic poison. Like you still don't have no peace, right? So short-term, it might feel like you're winning just because you defended yourself successfully, but you're still inside of the poto. It doesn't work. Sorry. All right, so the fourth horseman is stonewalling, withdrawing from interaction, shutting down, silent treatment, malice keeping, right? All the same thing, you know. Okay, we're talking about extended silent keeping. Okay, we're talking about beyond tomorrow morning. Okay, whatever, shutting down and refusing to respond or engage. Stonewalling is a defense mechanism as well, but it's actually a communication style. Who would have thought? It's a communication style. You're trying to communicate. What's the word that you use? You're protesting, basically. You're trying to communicate something, right? It's a communication style. It's a poison too. At the same time, it's a communication style, but also a poison, right? So again, silent treatment, physically leaving the room, avoiding eye contact, walking past each other. Well, walking past the other person and basically like this. But you know that your brain is paining you right here, but you still won't roll the eyes so they can see eye contact. You're like, but you can feel the sting of that poison here, but more, what do we do to ourselves? The way we punish ourselves because of emotions is ridiculous. I was going to use another word, but let me keep this place clean. The impact on relationships is that it leads to emotional disconnection, feelings of abandonment. Okay, you might just be dealing with somebody that already had issues with abandonment, so you might think you just need some space, but you might just be creating internal damages in that relationship. All right, and of course, as much as you think you're taking space, you are escalating conflict over time. That's why the issues keep coming back to bite you in the butt. No matter how long you go, those issues will come back because they were never resolved, right? So they are also saying some people left way too early. All right. This is what John Gottman's studies is saying. About 85% of stonewallers in heterosexual relationships are men, according to Gottman's research. 85%. Jesus Christ. According to his own samples and I disagree. Uncle Beno, we disagree, right? Anyway, solutions. They said practice self-soothing. When feeling overwhelmed, take a break and engage. See, we're not saying you shouldn't take a break. Silent treatment is not the same thing as taking a break. I don't know why people try to put that together. They're not the same thing. Silent treatment is exactly what that is. It's stonewalling. Okay. All right. It's treating water with silence. Okay. It's manipulative. It's controlling. It's dismissive. It's bad behavior all around. It's condemned. When I condemn you, I'm not condemning you. The behavior. It's like, don't practice it. Okay. But it's okay if you're feeling overwhelmed to take a break and engage in calming activities. Earlier on at the show, we talk about some outlets that you can use: journaling, exercising, things like that. Take a break and engage in calming activities like deep breathing and a short walk. Take a walk. Okay. After your break, you can return to the conversation when you're both calm. Because what's the point, right? If they're not calm and you want to talk to them. So I will never tell you that it's not okay to take a break and back off a situation. I will never tell you that. The reality is that you should consider that. Okay. So those are the four horsemen right there. The fourth one is stonewalling. Okay. Chidima said, yes, I was just thinking that. Why would someone punish themselves like this? All these childish, immature behaviors. Emotions are bastard. That's what it does to us. Right? You don't even know why you're doing it, but you do it. Actually, you will find a way that to tell me that you're doing it. You will justify it with bullshit, but it's bullshit. We shouldn't be punishing ourselves like that. We should be acting like matured adults. But here's the thing. You start. You need to start. Start with yourself, okay? If somebody is not engaging, it's okay to back off of them. Then you come back, and then you go back, and then you come back, and then you come back, right? And if you're too tired of doing that, then leave the marriage. Okay, maybe not so soon. At least ask for help, okay? Because some of us study this night and day, so we know how to help you. Godman is in his third marriage. He knows what he's talking about. No, I'm not. I have not researched him to that point, but these are some really good pointers for all of us to pay attention to, right? Relationships with regular occurrences of all four horsemen have a 90% likelihood of ending in separation or divorce. No one should be surprised about that now, okay? No one should be surprised. Again, remember, I think the takeaway for me personally is that these are all communication styles. They're terrible communication styles, but this is how people are communicating in their relationship. And it's no wonder. It's little to no wonder. So again, seek professional help, emotional intelligence, okay? Emotional intelligence, positivity. Remember that auntie on Pop the Balloon with Nonce Mirage? Positivity. It's not kumbaya, it's for your own good. Okay, it's not kumbaya, I promise you. All right, so that's what I have today for you guys. 7:24. I'm right on time. The four horsemen of divorce. Just go back and watch some of this stuff. Share it. These are good stuff that only if people, even just having conversations with yourself on these topics, only if you will, If you notice, we've been covering all these things here for a while with my own theories. Yes, these are my own theories, but they're derivative of other people that I've studied, So I'm not copying or anything like that. Things like the 6 basic needs, right? Things like the 4-point focus, expectations and pride, coconut head. Things like 7 purposes of marriage. Most people that say they don't want marriage, they never take the time to look at this twice, by the way. Poisons, right? Criticism. Do you see criticism in multiple forms here? Shaming, insult, blame, fault, judgment, condemnation. Guilt. That brother has been operating for 10 years from a place of guilt, so it didn't work. He was just trying to appease the wife. That's not good enough. So Allah is never telling you to just be kissing people's ass. I've never told you that ever in my life. It doesn't work, by the way, but I've never told anybody to be kissing ass. If anything, I'm asking you to find opportunities to add value to other people. That is already difficult enough by itself, because oftentimes you're just looking for your own emotional value. You're looking to fill your own emotional needs, and naturally so. But again, we're trying to elevate a little bit, take it above. Like, you're a human being, you're not an animal. So we're not just going to do natural. We're going to elevate ourselves. We're going to gain more understanding. If you're having a funky time in your relationships, in your lifestyle, and the results you've been creating, it's time to learn something new. If you're confused, okay, grasp the GPS, the 3 Ps. I don't really highlight this enough. Prayer is very useful because your patience will be tested. Prayer is a very good way to engage yourself, connect with your higher self. All right. So, of course, this whole thing is a process. Of course, the anti-seducers. So we'll be talking about these things for a while. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. Hopefully, you've been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve.